All right, so the theme of last week's video was how sore I was, and I'm not sore this week, which means things are starting to get better. I'm starting to get acclimated, but that doesn't mean that it's necessarily light or it's necessarily heavy. So on this first day, working up to some heavy triples, just trying to increase the weight each set, seeing how long my hook grip can hold up. You guys have been doing great by giving me some tips, trying some stuff out. Ended up doing my top set without any straps of 518 for 3. Felt pretty good, but my thumb was just feeling beat up as I did a couple of heavy sets before this. So I ended up doing like 9 heavy sets with just regular hook grip, and then 2 more sets of 6 total reps with some straps on at 529. But overall felt pretty good, and I feel like this positioning is much better. I feel like I'm not twisted as much, although I will say that I do miss my over-under because that's just what I'm more comfortable pulling. From there, I went and did some back off sets of some high bar squats. You guys have been seeing these. Again, nothing heavy here, 276. I'm aiming to put on anywhere between 2.5 to 5 kilos each week. But these look really good and these felt really good, and I've really liked doing squats after deadlifts, and maybe that's because things are moving and I'm getting a positive momentum going, but also because it is so light, and eventually it'll catch up to me and will be heavier. Speaking of heavier, one of the reasons why I'm calling this video Demotivating Motivation is because this is always a difficult week for me. It's the week of USAPL Raw Nationals, and each year for the past couple of years, I said I'm going to go, and for one reason or another, I've just been unable to. So this year I was planning to go down to Orlando and compete. Started to make plans, and then my wife and I found out that we were pregnant. And the fact is, as of right now, the baby is 2 months old, and it just wouldn't be a good idea for me to go down there. I don't want to leave them just yet. And plus, as you guys have noted, my training's been all over the place, so it just didn't really make sense. I am really hoping to go next year when it's in Spokane, Washington, however, but we'll see if that actually happens or not. And the reason this week's really tough for me is because obviously it's something I want to do and I've wanted to do. Even though I'm not going to be competitive, it still would be great to go out and meet a lot of the people that I talk to on a normal basis, see a lot of people as well, and just have fun. I like competing. I've done like 3 or 4 competitions in the past year. But as part of that too, seeing how strong people get, unfortunately, I get a little bit caught up in the hype where it's really motivating for me to see all these big numbers and big lifts and things people can do and what they're capable of. But at the same time, I question if I'm going to be able to do them. So it's really an interesting struggle in my mind. That sometimes I feel like I'm super motivated. I want to go out and train really hard. And other times I'm like, I'm never going to do that. So for example, my good friend, Nick Wright, you guys might have seen, hit 405 bench press finally. It's something he's been chasing for a long time. And it got me to thinking, I can really imagine myself blowing up my squat and getting close to 700 pounds. I can imagine deadlifting over 700 pounds. But when I think about my bench press, I don't imagine me benching much over 350. I just never imagine I'll be able to bench close to 405. And that's kind of demotivating. And maybe that kind of mindset is the reason why I haven't got there yet. But I'm hoping through this training cycle and trying to play around with some things. Here I'm just working on some singles on this day, and I played around with my setup and my elbows and how I'm arching every set. I'm hoping it finally starts to click and things start moving in the positive direction, and maybe I can chip away at that number a little bit. On the bright side, over the years, my numbers have been getting better as I get older and older. I'm about 3.5 years out from being able to compete in the Masters. Even though, again, I won't be extremely competitive, it'll be good just to put numbers on my total and feel better about myself, and I won't have to complain in these videos. We'll catch you guys next week.